So in today's video we're going to be looking at barbecue dishes, or full dishes that can be done on the barbecue. So spoke to my sister last weekend and she said it's going to be absolutely gorgeous there in the UK, and so why don't you do a barbecue menu on the video. So hence today we're going to be doing full dishes that can be done on the barbecue. We've got a braised pork belly dish, we've got a blackened chicken, a grilled potato with cream cheese dressing and bacon crumble, and lastly I had this amazing salads when I've come over here, since I've been living here in New Zealand, and one of them is where they get a floral vegetable like a cauliflower, broccoli, and they just blend it up and they mix it with different things. So we're going to do that today, broccoli. We're going to do broccoli salad with fruit and nuts. So those are the full dishes. So the first thing we're going to do is the dry cure. So this is a bit of blackened seasoning with some salt, and we're going to rub it all over the pork so it's on both sides of the pork, and we're going to leave it to cure overnight. Just make sure you rub the cure in well. Now onto the wet cure. So this is like a brine solution with sugar and salt and some aromatics. Just make sure the water's hot so it will dissolve the sugars and the salts. So we're going to leave the chicken in this mixture for 4 to 6 hours, and in that time the chicken is going to soak up that salty solution and it's going to make the chicken more tender. Now onto the pork. So we've got mirepoix of carrots and leeks, and we're going to basically braise the pork on top of these vegetables with the aromatics, and we're going to cook for about an hour and a half. Now I normally cook this in a pressure cooker, and if you do it in a pressure cooker it'll be ready in about 20 minutes. So I've cured the pork belly overnight for about 24 hours, and we're going to then sit the pork on top of those vegetables, and it's going to get cooked in an oven at 170 degrees. And during the cooking I'm going to take some of the cooking liquor, I'm going to spoon some of the cooking liquor over the top of the pork during the cooking. So I do this twice. I just spoon the liquor over the top of the pork. Now cover with tin foil. You'll notice I've got the shiny side down rather than up, so it just cooks the pork a bit better if the tin foil is shaped down. Now onto the grilled potato salad. So we're just going to slice the potatoes into even thickness, boil in salted water until tender. Once you can stick a knife into the potato, you're going to drain the potatoes off, but don't refresh them. Now the bacon crumble. We've got our breadcrumbs, some seeds, some nuts, and we're just going to toast it until it's golden brown. The crispy bacon fried separately, and you stick this one on top of the fried garnish. You're just going to mix that one together with some poppy seeds and some ground almonds. Now unfortunately I don't have a barbecue, or specifically I do not have any charcoal, so I'm using a grill plate today. So we're just going to grill the potatoes as they're cooked, just to warm them up and colour. So we're going to grill them for 2 minutes on either side, and don't forget to season as you do this. Now this is the cream cheese dressing. So it's just cream cheese, lemon juice and zest. Then we've got some mustard. You can use any mustard you want. Now when it comes to preparing garlic, the best thing to do is to smash down on the back of the knife, peel the garlic, and use a little bit of salt to puree the garlic clove. It's a real quick chef's technique, and it's very, very quick. So we're just going to puree that garlic, and it's going to go into that dressing. Now it will be very stiff, the mixture, so you will have to persevere. So we're going to go in there with a little bit of vinegar and a little bit of vegetable oil. Now if you find the mixture's too thick, you want to thin it down with a little bit of milk. Okay, I'm just going to use a whisk, and the cheese is quite cold at this stage, so within about 20 minutes that mixture will become a lot more smoother. So finish it off with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and a little bit of paprika. So we're just going to mix those together. It looks a little bit lumpy now because it's cold, and as it warms up it will be much smoother. That dressing gets spooned over the top of the potatoes, the crumble goes over the top of that, and we finish with a little bit of fried shallots. Now I haven't fried the shallots. I buy fried shallots because I use it in biryanis. I will be doing a video on biryani. That's to come. So I'm just going to spoon the dressing over the top of the potatoes. We're going to finish with the bacon crumble, so it gives it a nice bit of texture. You got the nice grilled potatoes, the cheesiness and freshness of the dressing, and then the seeds and the nuts and the bacon crumble over the top. What we want to do, because there's a bit of grease on that plate, is to finish off with a little bit of spring onion. So that will just cut through the whole dish and just balance off that. So I'm just going there with a little bit of fried shallots over the top just to finish off the dish. So nice. It was so nice, this one. Now this is the salad I was talking about, is the floral salad. So you can use cauliflower for this. I prefer broccoli. And you're not going to cook the broccoli. You're literally going to chop it small enough to go inside a blender, and then you're going to blend it until it's a small dice. You can have it coarser if you like. I like mine quite fine. You're just going to blend it until it's even consistency all the way through. Now I've decided to garnish my salad with fruit and nuts, but you can garnish it with anything you want. The almonds, I always prefer to cook my almonds either in a pan or I cook them in the oven. So now onto the dressing for the broccoli salad. You can use any vinegar you want. I'm very lucky, my mother-in-law buys me these amazing Christmas presents, chucks them in my stocking, and a couple of years ago I got this amazing balsamic dressing that's flavoured with blueberry and chocolate. So the dressing doesn't have to be emulsified. If the oil is separate from the vinegar, it's absolutely fine. We're going to finish with a little bit of olive oil. Now when I do a dressing, I don't make dressings with 100% olive oil because I find them too strong. So I just weaken them or dilute them with a little bit of vegetable oil. So that's half vegetable and half olive oil. And you're just going to spoon that one over the top of the salad. Now that salad will hold perfectly for a couple of days. In fact, we ate it tonight and already it was like 2 days old, and it was absolutely fantastic. And again, you can put anything you want into that salad. The good thing is, if you're going around to friends for barbecue, you can make it the day before. So I'm just going to spoon this onto the plate, and I'm just going to garnish it with some more fruit and nuts over the top. And if you want to change the fruit, go for some fresh fruit over the top, depending on what's in season. You can go for that. I quite like it with dried fruits and nuts. So those almonds, I've just toasted them through the oven, and I'm just going on top with some raisins over the top. Now we're going to check the pork. Now I've already basted the meat a couple of times, and what that means is I've removed the pork and I've spooned the juices over the top of the pork to keep them nice and tender and very moist. So it's cooked for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. Now the most important thing is that you rest the meat in the juice for at least 5 minutes before you put into the fridge. Now these pieces of pork have been in the fridge for about half an hour, and that makes removing the bones much easier. So we're going to remove the bones from the pork, and then afterwards we're going to cut away the rinds, and then we're going to portion the pork belly into 5 pieces so that each skewer will have 5 pieces of pork on there. Now if you're worried about putting something on a grill that has been braised and you're worried about it burning, you just want to cook it on the side of the grill. However, the sauce will caramelize, so it will leave quite a dark coloured char on the side of the meat, but that will make it very sweet and extremely succulent. And I cannot tell you how nice these pork skewers were. I mean, my daughter rarely eats pork, but she absolutely loved them and that though, because it's so tender. And again, if you're going around to friends' barbecues, you can do all this the day before and just take away the skewers. So I've just applied a little bit of oil to the side of the pork on one side, and I've grilled them for 2 minutes on either side. Now because they've originally been seasoned with blackened seasoning, I just scatter a little bit of blackened seasoning over the top of the pork, and that just finished that one very nicely indeed. So now we go outside. I think we're going to get some rosemary. We get some rosemary, so we're going to use that rosemary. We're going to do like infused oil for the hummus. So lucky out here, I can check out my aloe vera. So as you see, it's not really barbecue weather here. Got a lovely aloe vera over there though. I'll show you my aloe vera. It's pretty nice. Okay, anyway, we need some rosemary. We've got rosemary just here, so we'll just pick off some rosemary, and then we'll use this one for the hummus. So just use that. You don't need much, just need a little bit. Okay, so with the infused rosemary hummus, we're just going to warm up some oil with garlic and rosemary, bring it to a simmer and take it off the heat. Then you're going to blend up some chickpeas. I'm using Murray Pink River salt for my hummus. You can just use table salt, a little bit of cayenne pepper, some tahini. Now tahini is just pureed sesame seed, and it's really nice in a multitude of different dishes, but most especially in a hummus or hummus. So we go in there with some fresh lemon juice, and we're going to pour the oil on top of those chickpeas. Now I like to reserve the garlic and rosemary for the hummus because it's really nice having the crispy bits of garlic and bits of rosemary through that hummus. Now if you need to, just add more oil, but if you follow the recipe it will come to this consistency. If you like it smoother, you can just add a little bit more oil. Now I'm just going to smooth this over the plate. That rosemary is perfectly edible and it's a little bit crunchy, and then you've got those fried pieces of garlic over the top. So I'm going to drizzle a little bit of oil, olive oil, over the top of the hummus, and then we're going to finish with a little bit of paprika, so a little bit of paprika over. Now our chickens have been curing for 4 to 6 hours in the refrigerator, sitting in that brine. Now when you blacken, you don't add any oil at the beginning. So I'm grilling with no oil. Halfway through I add a little bit of oil to the chicken. Now because I'm not cooking on a barbecue, I've had to actually finish these chickens in the oven, but on top of a barbecue they're going to cook in about 10 to 15 minutes. Now whenever you're eating chicken, always make sure that the chicken is cooked. You want to stick a knife into the center of the chicken, and when you pull it out it wants to be steaming hot. Now I've just scattered some lemon zest, some dry chili seed and a little bit of fresh lemon over the top of that chicken, and that will just bring all the flavors to the full. Okay, so that's the barbecue menu from the team at Family Kitchen with Mark. Had a lot of fun here today playing around with dry cures against like a brine wet mixture for curing the meat, and the meat is just so succulent, it's unbelievable. I wasn't able to cook on the barbecue, unfortunately. Here in New Zealand, you know, everyone barbecues at Christmas time, and that's our summer. So consequently, I couldn't get hold of any charcoal, and I don't have a gas barbecue. So I've just managed on the grill plate here. So anyway, looking forward to some new videos. I've got my daughter telling me today I want to do a bubble tea, so there's definitely going to be a bubble tea video coming soon. Other than that, just press the red subscribe button and subscribe to the channel Family Kitchen with Mark, and I'll see you in the next video.